Hello, everyone, and welcome to my case summary on the Supreme Court's decision in Rosenberger versus Rector. This is a 5-4 decision with an opinion by Justice Kennedy for the majority, and it's a big one for the First Amendment and particularly for government property. So let's get into the facts. The University of Virginia had a policy of paying the print bills of newspapers that were run by student groups, but this was conditioned on the newspapers not, quote, primarily promoting or manifesting a particular belief in or about a deity or an ultimate reality, or engaging in electioneering or lobbying. So basically, we've got kind of a religious political exemption in the policy. So, how does this apply to the parties here? Well, the petitioners had a student newspaper called Wide Awake, a Christian perspective at the University of Virginia. And the University of Virginia withheld payments from them for printing because they violated the policy on promoting beliefs about deities and ultimate realities. So this group sued the University of Virginia. The district court granted summary judgment for the University of Virginia, and the Fourth Circuit affirmed. So this is going up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And what does the U.S. Supreme Court say? Well, reversed. The lower courts got this wrong. This is viewpoint discrimination, which is impermissible in a limited public forum. So the University of Virginia has violated the free speech rights of these students. So first of all, limited public fora are government property where the government allows discussion solely of certain topics. And this newspaper is a limited public forum. Of course, the University of Virginia is a public university, not a private university. So we are dealing with government property here. And it's a limited public forum because it's not something like a sidewalk where you can basically do almost any kind of speech that you want on a sidewalk and the government can't restrict it because it's a traditional public forum. But this is a limited public forum. So the restrictions on government's ability to restrict speech on a limited public forum are, I would say, a lot more narrow, but not as narrow as possible. A limited public forum still cannot restrict speech in certain ways. And what this means is that speech restrictions must be both reasonable and viewpoint neutral. So no viewpoint discrimination. I feel like the word reasonable is pretty vague. Like it's kind of hard to imagine a restriction that is viewpoint discrimination, but it's also reasonable. But yeah, when in doubt, just throw the word reasonable in there. It seems to work well for all sorts of doctrine, constitutional, tort, whatever you name it. But yeah, so what's the explanation? This is viewpoint discrimination, and it doesn't matter that they're only targeting or that they're targeting all sorts of viewpoints, different religions, Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists. They all speak to deities and ultimate realities. But yeah, it's discriminating against all of those views. And so, as Justice Kennedy says, exclusion of several views on an issue is just as repugnant to the First Amendment as exclusion of only one. So yeah, it does not matter that it's not only targeting a single viewpoint. Do you agree with this? Let me know in the comments, because it does seem like actually targeting only one would be a little more egregious. I don't know. But yeah, and this is the point that Justice Souter gets at in his dissent. The conservatives were pretty much the majority, and then the centrist, moderate justices and liberal judges are in the dissent. But yeah, he says that this is not viewpoint discrimination since it applies to Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, atheists, and Christians alike. So yeah, he's taking the opposite approach of Justice Kennedy. But yeah, that's my video on Rosenberger versus Rector. Wanted to get some First Amendment content out there because it's a really hot topic and everyone loves it. And hopefully, if you're taking a con law or a First Amendment class in law school, this video will be really helpful to you. You'll get an A+ on your final exam. And yeah, as always, if you found this video helpful, insightful, or interesting, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I look forward to speaking to you in the next video.